let's be real. Nobody wakes up one day and says, "Today, I shall be mature." It's not like growing a beard or getting a bigger paycheck. Maturity sneaks up on you, usually after life has knocked you around a few times. And if you're here listening today, my guess is you started wondering if there's more to self-improvement than just looking busy or sounding smart. Today, let's dive deep, but not heavy, into the real signs of personal growth and emotional intelligence. Spoiler, it's not about having the last word at Thanksgiving dinner. You know you're growing when you stop needing to prove you're right all the time. You know you're truly growing when proving you're right starts to feel, well, kind of pointless. Back in my 20s, I treated every disagreement like a courtroom drama. I'd sharpen my facts, polish my comebacks, and walk away feeling like I just won the Super Bowl of debates. Score one for me, I thought, as if making Uncle Bob rethink his life choices at Thanksgiving was some kind of noble mission. But with time, and let's be honest, a few emotional bruises, I realized something important. Winning arguments doesn't win you peace, it just wins you more arguments. Because the ego, it's never satisfied. It'll always find a new hill to die on. Real self-improvement begins when you notice that being right isn't as satisfying as being wise. Wisdom whispers, you don't have to prove anything. You already know who you are. Ego shouts, make them see it. Make them agree. And if you've spent any time around people, aka the human race, you know. Trying to force someone to see your truth is like trying to convince a cat to take a bath. It's exhausting, and it usually ends with someone scratched up. Personal development means learning to let the truth settle quietly inside you without needing external validation. It means trusting yourself enough to stay silent, even when you could crush it with the perfect comeback. Because honestly, the world doesn't need more people who are desperate to be right. It needs more people who are willing to be kind, steady, and secure enough to let others have their journey. When you choose inner peace over outer dominance, that's when the real growth happens. That's when emotional intelligence starts to shine through. Not as something flashy or impressive, but as something so steady, so unshakable, that people can feel it just by being around you. And funny enough, when you stop trying to convince everyone you're right, the right people naturally find their way into your life. The ones who don't need convincing. The ones who just get it. And let me tell you, that's a whole lot more satisfying than winning any argument at Thanksgiving dinner. You see, real growth isn't loud. It doesn't show up waving flags or demanding trophies. It slips in quietly, like a friend who doesn't need to knock because they already belong. That's the thing about true personal growth. It doesn't need an announcement. It just is. And honestly, some of the biggest upgrades in life happen so quietly, you barely even notice them at first. Growth is quiet, like realizing you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. A huge part of emotional intelligence is knowing when silence speaks louder than your perfect comeback. Mature people master the art of letting go, and man, it's an art form. Not every battle deserves your energy. Not every opinion needs your response. You know you're leveling up in personal development when peace becomes more important than proving a point. Trust me, choosing inner peace over outer victory is like upgrading from a flip phone to a smart life. And here's the thing most people don't tell you. Walking away doesn't mean you lost. It usually means you won something far more valuable. your own peace of mind. It's like realizing you don't have to fight every storm. Sometimes you just let the clouds pass while you sip your coffee and enjoy the show. When you start valuing your energy like it's a limited edition resource, because spoiler alert, it is, you naturally become more selective. Not everything deserves a comment, a defense, or a reaction. Most things, frankly, aren't even about you. This is where true self-improvement kicks in. You recognize that arguing often isn't about reaching truth. It's about ego wrestling. And if you're serious about personal growth, you stop showing up to ego matches. You start showing up for yourself instead. Choosing peace isn't weakness. It's wisdom. It's the quiet confidence that says, I could engage, but my sanity is worth more than the thrill of being right. Over time, you realize the strongest people aren't the ones shouting the loudest. They're the ones walking away with a calm heart, a clear mind, and a full tank of energy for the things and the people that actually matter. When you mature, time management becomes soul management. Most of us learn about time management because we're drowning in to-do lists, calendars, and coffee-fueled panic attacks. But real growth? It's when you start asking, what deserves my time? Not just, what fills my time? Being productive isn't about squeezing 26 hours into a 24-hour day. It's about aligning your actions with your purpose. Real self-discipline is saying no, not because you're lazy, but because you're laser-focused on what actually matters. If you're wondering how to be productive, start by asking yourself, is this helping me live a fuller, deeper life? Or am I just keeping busy to avoid myself? True growth feels like minimalist living, but for your soul. You ever notice how much lighter you feel when you clean out a closet? Well, self-development is kinda like that. But instead of sweaters from 1998, you're throwing out old fears, resentments, and the need for approval. Mature living isn't about collecting trophies, followers, or compliments. It's about creating a life that feels good on the inside, even if it doesn't always look glamorous from the outside. It's the Stoic way, focusing only on what you can control and releasing the rest. Sounds a lot like the heart of Stoicism philosophy, right? Epictetus would have been proud. Self-control isn't about restriction, it's about liberation. When we think of self-control, we often think of monks sitting on mountaintops refusing chocolate cake. But really, true self-control is about freedom. Freedom from needing constant validation. Freedom from reacting impulsively. Freedom from being ruled by every passing emotion. If you've been wrestling with how to focus or how to be disciplined, know this. It's not about forcing yourself into a box. It's about unlocking your deeper, calmer self. The one that doesn't panic just because something shiny or stressful shows up. Study, motivation, daily Stoic wisdom. They're all tools helping you remember you are not your impulses. You're something steadier, stronger. You'll know you've grown when your life becomes less about performance and more about presence. Here's a hard truth we don't always like to admit. So much of what we do, the job titles, the insta-perfect moments, it's all theater if we're not careful. But maturity? It's walking into a room and not needing anyone to clap. It's showing up fully even when no one's watching. It's choosing authenticity over applause, personal growth over personal branding. Ironically, when you stop performing, people start feeling more connected to you. Why? Because authenticity is magnetic. And trust me, It lasts way longer than attention spans these days. Daily Stoic living. Embracing what you can control, letting go of the rest. If you've been flirting with Stoicism philosophy, here's the cheat code. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being grounded, feeling everything, but choosing your response with intention, not instinct. A big part of emotional intelligence is recognizing not everything deserves your panic. Not everything needs fixing. Some storms aren't meant to be stopped, just weathered with a calm heart. The daily practice of living like this, that's where real self-improvement happens. Not overnight, not with some giant dramatic event, but quietly, steadily, like rain filling up a river. Minimalist living isn't just about owning fewer things. It's about needing fewer validations. Sure, it's great to declutter your house, but decluttering your heart? Game changer. When you strip away the need to impress, outperform, or outshine, what's left is simple and profound. Personal development isn't adding more to yourself. It's peeling back the layers to find who you really are underneath the noise. Maturity, at its core, is realizing you already have everything you need inside you. You don't have to become something else. You just have to be. And here's the kicker. When you stop chasing after external validation, you actually make room for something way better. Internal validation. That quiet, steady sense of, I'm good with who I am. That doesn't get shaken every time somebody disapproves, unfollows, or misunderstands you. It's like cleaning out a closet and finding that old leather jacket you forgot you had and realizing it still fits. Only this time, the jacket is your peace of mind. Minimalist living, real minimalist living, isn't about living with less just to prove a point. It's about living with less because you need less to feel whole. It's about realizing you don't need to be seen, applauded, or celebrated to feel valuable. You are valuable, even in complete silence. This shift is a cornerstone of self-improvement and personal growth, moving from living externally to living internally. And once you get a taste of that freedom, you won't want to go back. Because the less you need from the outside world, the more you can actually give to it. Freely, generously, without all that heavy expectation weighing you down. You stop living like you're on trial all the time, trying to earn your worth. And you start living like someone who's already free. And honestly, that's when life really starts to feel light. Real maturity means trading the applause of the crowd for the quiet approval of your soul. So next time you're tempted to prove yourself, to show you're right, or important, or successful, take a breath, smile, and remember, you don't have to climb every mountain just because someone dares you. You are enough right now, without the proof, without the trophies, without the hashtags. That's what true self-improvement looks like. Not chasing more, but being more. And maybe, just maybe, that's the whole point.